Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Hello, Leroy.
Man, this should be a holiday.
You banged up? Man,
Dude.
Can I just say, the Horde household does it right. They do it
Oh,
right.
word?
Dude, between Leroy and Big Spoon and Mima, I mean, just the food.
Maybe one day.
So good. So good. You okay, Leroy?
No.
Wow.
Dude, when I finally sat down and watched some of the game, I couldn't get up. My body was hurting from standing up for like 5 hours.
You were there, yeah. You were grill master when we walked in. But
I like my grill. I can cook. I have a flat iron, a flat stove. You can cook all of the hamburgers.
Yep.
You ain't got to mess around. Just throw them all out there.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much of a game because
I tell you what.
Was a blowout. That was one of the biggest ass kickings I've ever seen.
But here's the thing. They didn't even have to send their varsity. They didn't have to trick them up on defense.
Nope.
They didn't have to run zone blitzes. Nothing. They put those 4 dudes up front and got after the quarterback.
6
right?
sacks.
I mean, and it wasn't like when they got in the backfield, it looked like they were blitzing. It was only 4. And Patrick Mahomes couldn't get away.
Fangs, dude.
Fangs ain't got, well, listen. Fangs may have had a good game plan, but every coach feels it out in the beginning. Oh, is Patrick Mahomes going to pick us apart if we just bring 4? And once he found out that wasn't going to happen, he had guys just roaming in the secondary.
Yeah.
Like that pick.
The great intangibles.
That pick that Dijon had, right?
Yeah.
People don't realize he was on the other side of the field. And I guess because Patrick Mahomes held the ball so long, he started fading back, checking for that crossing route. And so Patrick Mahomes looking at the guy crossing the field, throws it, oops, backside corner.
Man.
Which is just like, you very rarely see stuff like that because most defenses are designed for whoever's on the right side to clear out that side.
I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed Patrick Mahomes stinking up the joint. They just needed it. It was enough. And I was happy to see them take such an ass kicking.
You weren't happy just witnessing what probably one of the greatest defensive performances ever in the Super Bowl? You're more going at somebody's misery?
He can't because of Fangs.
It's not that it couldn't because of Fangs. Like the old wanted to leave. I don't know what to tell you. He wanted to get out of here. He couldn't. Does it make sense that Fangs was like,
you know what I would do if I was Fangs?
I'm out of here. I'm going.
You know what I would do, Vlad? I go get a handful of rocks and start kicking them down the street.
Oh, bro, I'm going down to Boca. Hey, I'm hitting Boca tonight.
Dude, if I'm Javon Holland, this is what I would do. I know Javon Holland was trolling last night, but Javon Holland, dude, you got to put the thumbs away for the night.
Yeah.
Major L.
Dude, put the thumbs away. Rest him. Rest him,
Give him a break.
Give him a break. And then it's like, I know he was just trying to enjoy the game. And then he goes, Fangs is calling hell of a game. And I know he's doing that strictly for trolling, and I can respect it. But, dude, not last night.
Hey, I'm telling you, all I need to see right now to make this Super Bowl, just put a cherry on the top.
Yep.
Is Fangs kicking a rock down the street.
Oh, yeah. He should do that at the parade. They should stop the parade, and he should kick rocks down the parade route.
Oh, my goodness. It's not even a knock on Javon Holland. I just think it would be funny.
Oh, yeah. Listen.
Oh, it would be hilarious.
The goes the spoils. Like, go. Enjoy it.
Right.
He deserves it. Honestly, though, it is one of these things with that team. I can't think of a team that's more opposite of the Dolphins than the Eagles. I really can't.
Yeah.
Like, they are so fortified in the trenches. They are bully you over. Like, dude, when they pushed to the point where they broke Chris Jones's neck to start the game,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
he had to get it. He was on the back getting neck
I didn't know he
massage.
could get hurt. That guy, he could get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, what?
You know what just happened, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. That the Russian in Cleveland, everybody's paying attention now that he's available.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Oh,
why?
yeah.
'Cause they just saw what happened last night, and they all sitting in the room going, "How's our pass rush? What do we
Yep.
got to do?" Because see, you can have just an above average DB if you have a great defensive line. But if you have a great DB and don't have a pass rush, it don't matter.
Kind of pisses you off that Dolphins just let Wilkins walk across the country, huh? Like, I know Calais Campbell had a good season, but he's 38, and you're thinking to yourself, and I know that Christian Wilkins was injured, dum-dum, so you don't have to comment, but still, the point remains, he was a home run pick for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, okay.
I got to tell you,
find another one.
I told you back then it was a bad move. Especially here's why. Even more, forget what Christian Wilkins does on the football field, right? Like, you had the audacity to go to a guy who had 100 tackles and tell him he ain't have enough sacks, right? That just start there. A defensive lineman with 100 tackles. So we're going to ignore that. But we all live in a world that if you bring a guy into the family and he balling out in any sport,
yep,
you going to make damn sure you have him to parade around and say, look, I'm good at the draft. And it didn't matter. So now what are we doing? Because of the guys you let walk away because you drafted, we looking at your draft as suspect because all you got is the guys you couldn't afford to pay.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, I just feel like that Eagles team is just everything the Dolphins are not. That's just what it feels like.
You mean football? Football? Like,
they're just so
go look at football. Like,
so,
yeah, it's cute. It's cute to throw all these passes around or whatever. But soon as it gets cold, soon as the game, the moment, the importance of the game grows, right? You got to line up and get you a couple of yards and be physical enough to stop another team.
Tom Brady enjoyed the hell out of Patrick Mahomes stinking up the joint yesterday.
I'm more than sure he did because
he's like giggling when he's off air. He's like, I told you, Burkhardt. They said he's the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. Bah.
Yeah, but he didn't lose Patty lost 2 Super Bowls, but he never lost undefeated though.
Yeah, but dude, he's also never lost like that.
Yeah, he did to Tampa.
Who?
Oh wait, Patty lost like that to Mo.
No, not like that, dude. Not even the Tampa one. You think of like, oh, you knew his line was depleted, and remember he was doing cool stuff down the like. The greatest incompletion you ever seen, dude. He was awful yesterday, Vlad.
No, I
he was awful.
I was there.
Well, like, was he awful, or was that line so bad that he had?
Dude, the line got dominated, and also he was awful.
Yeah, you speed up that clock though, dude. Like one is an effect of the other, right? Like when you don't have protection, quarterbacks either tend to do one or two things: chuck it up or throw checkdowns all game.
Goats don't have clocks; they can't tell time.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, he on the way home from fixing his body, from getting twisted up and folded up like a cheap suit. He gonna be looking and seeing how long did I have.
It just felt like the Chiefs fairy tale came to an end, thankfully, because I got to be honest with you. 5 minutes into the game, when they called that offensive pass interference, I was like, "Here we go." I was like, "Here we go."
That was offensive pass interference.
No, it wasn't, dude.
He hit the dude in the face.
He should have been standing there.
What are you talking about? He's standing there.
Great catch.
That's here, Vlad. That's incidental chicken fighting. That's what it is.
Yeah, you can't hit somebody in the face. That in the NFL, but everybody. It's the same thing.
Keep in mind, he's a lot taller than the DB.
Right. Well,
so when he chicken fights, it's higher.
Well, can't hit the man in the face.
Listen,
the same way
It
The same way
wasn't. It wasn't that big. They let that stuff go on all the time.
And what about the personal
Um,
foul call they called on the Chiefs cornerback with the pass that was so overthrown?
Make good. They knew Pereira was on him already.
Yeah, it was like, come on, man. The referees. I didn't like that referee. I don't like that referee. That head referee with the
glasses.
Brother referee. Yeah. He looks like a snitch. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, he looks like a snitch. I don't know.
Who he gonna snitch on? He the top dude.
He's gonna snitch. I don't know. I just don't like his. I don't like his bifocals. I don't like his glasses. He looks
very like studious.
Yeah,
right?
too studious. Too studious.
Like no officer. He's right over there behind the No.
Yeah, it was it was crazy because we left your house at halftime, but we missed nothing. Like the game was so over. It was decided. It felt that, and I felt like everybody was just kind of like, all right. After we saw Kendrick Lamar do his thing, you're like, he buried Drake.
So wait, who took the worst loss for the light-skinned brothers? Was it Patrick Mahomes or was it Drake?
Well, I would say this. Drake been getting his ass kicked for about 6 months.
Yeah, but you know what?
Right, but the cherry on top, you talking about hundreds of millions watching.
I'll tell you what.
I would say Patrick, but wait. See, here's the thing. Drake ain't got no wins.
Pat's got 3 of them things.
Pat's got 3 of them. So I'm gonna have to say Drake took the biggest loss. Because he could go home and do what? Because even Lamar got about 5 Grammys?
Yep.
5 Grammys, yeah.
5 Grammys. And he got
I think Drake has 1?
And he recruited Serena for the halftime show?
He had Serena Crip Walk and he had
that was Serena?
Yep.
That was Serena, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
that was Serena Crip Walking.
SZA
SZA was the singer, but when they did not like us, and then they pointed to the corner, that was Serena Williams Crip Walking.
Really?
Well, she used to go out with Drake, and Drake takes shots.
This guy is diabolical, as Kendrick Lamar.
Did you see
this warfare that he has?
The chain that he wore?
Yeah,
it was an A minor. It was
Genius.
the A minor, dude. Diabolical. I don't even think he's diabolical. We have to find a new word for him.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Drake shouldn't have messed with that dude.
Yeah, don't call him.
His petty is strong.
It's a little.
It's just
good. A little too strong.
It's not that it's strong. It's just really good.
It's relentless.
So ever since Drake messed with Lamar, he's won 5 Grammys and done the Super Bowl show.
And has a sellout concert tour coming up.
Yeah. Now I will say this. For only a rap dude, he put it together pretty good. The halftime show was. You know what I mean?
It was good. I know I could understand if most of the population didn't resonate with them.
The intangibles didn't get it.
The intangibles definitely did not get it. And there was a lot of intangibles.
They wanted Luke Combs.
No, I would have tell you they would have if it was Lil Wayne or
no, they wouldn't understand that either. No, the people in New Orleans would have. But if you saw the audience, if you saw the people at the stadium,
right,
there were a lot of intangibles.
Skip Bayless said yesterday on Twitter that he was protesting the halftime shows for his friend Lil Wayne because they didn't. What?
First of all, stop name dropping. You're done. Go to sleep.
You're done?
Yeah,
he's talking about Skip.
He is done. I don't think he showed up anywhere.
Like, so what are we doing? Like, him saying he's protesting the halftime show does what for sports? Nothing. Right? You read it. We moved on to our next segment. So,
do you think? But let's imagine this: does Skip Bayless, for his friend, does he turn the TV off in that moment, or does he just mute it, or do you think he walks out of the room? Like, what does he do in his living room? What is his form of protest? And does he send Lil Wayne a selfie? He goes, "Weezy, I got you."
No, he throws. He probably takes a Kendrick Lamar CD and throws it in the trash can, like he does with the Dak Prescott jersey. I'm so upset with the NFL not picking my friend Lil Wayne, Weezy, in the Super Bowl in his hometown. This is like Dak Prescott. He'll make a reference to the Cowboys.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Or he got to throw LeBron in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, he should send LeBron royalties.
Oh, he did that already. LeBron was sending tweets during the week.
We'll take a break. Your headlines there were brought to you by Doral Kia. Doral Kia, choose more over 500 new Kia miles in inventory at the Sports, the Sorrento, and the Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia. Final score yesterday, 40-22. Jalen Hurts is your Super Bowl MVP. 221 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, rush for 72 and a TD. And old intangibles. Cooper DeJean, what is it again? Pick 6 for him off of Mahomes for Philly.
On his birthday. Same birthday as Saquon, right?
Saquon. And Mahomes was sacked 6 times.
And that's only because he threw the ball away a couple of times. It would have been a sack party.
Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let's get to
Tobes.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I love the way D brought down the hammer yesterday.
On?
Over the red juice and the blue juice.
Dude, that was so funny.
And wait, and the reply wasn't, oh, no. Don't drink that. She goes, Sophie, you're still going to school tomorrow.
Oh. So we go into the Horde kitchen yesterday, and there's 2 fruit punch looking things. And my daughter was, getting her plate ready with the wonderful food made. And meanwhile goes, the red one is alcohol. The blue one does not. I was like, okay. Sounds good. And then Sophie takes 1 sip of the blue. She goes to me, I think this is alcohol. I was like, oh, that one has alcohol? And he goes, no. Blue does not have alcohol. I'm like, well, Sophie, I'll just finish that. You just go get a soda or something like that. But apparently then I get in there with Big Spoon. She goes, what? They both have alcohol. One is vodka, one is rum. Listen, Mima was busy making fire wings. She didn't know the whole menu. It's all good.
Oh, I had to take out the big fryer for her.
Oh,
outside. Because you can fry a whole bunch at one time. I have so if you go to these little wing places and buy wing, I'm talking about you're going to make your own wings. A lot of the wings have the whole wing, like the little tip, then the flat, then the drum. And you got to cut them off, right? So I'm like, man, last time I did it with, I got them from Restaurant Depot. And we spent like 2 hours chopping all these wings. So I finally went to Restaurant Depot. They were already done. So all I had to do was clean them off. And it's a lot of wings. But it's like 50 cents a wing if you do it that way. So she made 2 giant bags, and then I froze 2 bags. So yeah. So we were working on that. But it was dude, by the time I sat down to watch the game, I'm surprised I didn't just fall asleep right there.
Dude, it was delightful. Let's get the headlines, which are brought to you by Doral Kia. At Doral Kia, choose from over 500 new Kia miles in inventory at the Sports, the Sorrento, and the Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia.
Mima.
It says Mima has the same issue with colors of drinks and the pen and the marriage certificates.
Well, and that might have been my wife too, because at her work they have to sign everything in one color. And the color was different for the marriage certificate. But me and Marcos went somewhere. We came back and Mima was second.
Mima comes from a generation where, like, if the kid has a little bit of liquor, it makes him sleepy. It's all good. It's good for him.
Hey, old school remedies for teething, right?
Yep.
Rub a little Jack Daniels on it.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, Super Bowl yesterday. Eagles hammer the Chiefs 40-22, and it wasn't even that close.
Wasn't even that close.
Jalen Hurts, congrats to him, Super Bowl MVP. The Chiefs, man, they got. What's crazy about it? I think this is the interesting thing. Like, the Dolphins are kind of in a pathetic bracket right now because they can't even get over the Bills. But it's kind of like, if you are the AFC, like, there's a weight class then up of the AFC playoff teams. and they have to be thinking to themselves, how could we not beat this team?
Right.
How is this the team?
Yeah.
How is this the Chiefs team
Was
that,
it Buffalo?
that we could beat?
Buffalo thinking they can't. Well, think about this. Buffalo couldn't stop them.
I know.
That's crazy, right?
Baltimore has to be a little sick, right? Because Baltimore blew it against Buffalo.
Right, because we literally thought that the winner of Buffalo Baltimore was going to be in the Super Bowl.
They felt like Baltimore felt like the most talented team in the AFC all year.
Buffalo?
No, Baltimore.
Yes. They were the favorites.
They have to be like, how do we not?
It was between Baltimore and Detroit.
They both always lose to the Chiefs.
They always lose to the Chiefs.
All right, so the Chiefs.
So the Chiefs have what the Bills have on the Dolphins right now.
The Chiefs have that on everybody except for
not Philly anymore.
I mean, dude,
I can say though, this GOAT debate,
regardless of what we want to say about Philly, they played a hell of a Super Bowl the first time.
Yep.
So that game was really close. So this time, yeah.
You know, I didn't notice it, but I probably should have. But he's been down 10 in all of his Super Bowl appearances.
Right. That's
pretty crazy.
Nobody was down. As a matter of fact, I was like, oh, now the Super Bowl is beginning when they were down 10.
Yeah, but when the pick six happened, it was over.
That was when it was over.
It was over. Once that pick six, you were like, oh, there's no coming back. No coming back.
I'll tell you
they barely got the ball past midfield.
There was a play where he threw the D-Hop and D-Hop was open. Like if he catches that ball, that's a momentum changer. And then he dropped that. I was like, that's it.
You know what happened, right? And I was trying to tell these guys that he tripped before the ball got there. So he was falling. And it's the hardest thing to explain because when you're falling from being tripped or stumbling, you're thinking of bracing yourself and then a football comes. It's a weird thing.
Karen
like if he had gone down to that same position himself, fine. But the fact that he tripped.
Karen says, are the Eagles that much better than everyone else in the league? Like, what's their weakness? What are they bad?
They could lose. They've lost. They've lost games. They lost to the Commanders. They could lose. I think if the Lions were healthy, they would have.
See, that's the thing. The Lions had the fact that the Lions made it as far as they did with the injuries that they had. They had probably 80 guys on their roster at one point during the year.
Yeah, because 16 of them were hurt.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, in that Commanders game, Kenny Pickett played. Like, yeah, that was when Hurts got hurt. So
yeah.
I don't know, dude. They were pretty good. Like, I looked at that team. I was like, where are they bad? Do they have anything? Best running back in the league. Amazing receivers. Great tight end. Great line. Great defensive line.
Good quarterback.
What's their weakness?
I would say this: if you think of all the teams, think of all the teams that have beat these so-called dynasties, and they all done it the same way.
Defense.
Pressure the quarterback up the middle of the field.
Absolutely.
Right? When New York beat the Patriots, all you have to do is go look at that pass rush. Right? Yep. And so it's amazing to me.
But even those games still came down to crazy.
Crazy.
You know, like those may have been one of those teams may have been the greatest team ever that never won the Super Bowl, but those are still incredible games.
Right.
This was such an ass kicking.
But again,
this was like the Super Bowl that I went to, the Broncos Legion of Boom when they won. That was this.
Right.
That's the last time I remember Peyton Manning, who's beaten Peyton Manning was an MVP that year. I thought for sure the Broncos were going to win, and they got killed. Safety to start the game. Jesus.
Defense, dude. Like it's one of the more remarkable things and the problems I have with the sport of football. Some of the things you hear people talk about is what teams need to do and how they need to get this guy. No, you don't. All you need to do is get an offensive line and defensive line and go from there. And those teams that have done that, because let's think about what we were saying about Jalen Hurts. Then all of a sudden that old line got right, that run game got right, and now all of a sudden we on the other side of what we thought about Jalen Hurts, which he's always been the same guy. It's just that sometimes he needs stuff to work hand in hand. Jalen Hurts is not Jalen Hurts without running game. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. And you got to know how to build a team like that. You look at that defensive line, and you look at how they built that front seven on defense with the guys they brought in. And they brought them in for specific roles on that team. And you see the way they played. Like, besides Slay, name a DB and Dijon, right? Most of it, and you're not even talking about these guys about covering. You're talking about how they get after the football. So don't tell me when you sitting here talking about what the Dolphins need to do and what all the other good teams do. Get an offensive line and a defensive line, and everything else will figure itself out.
They're gonna blow it.
Yeah,
but they're gonna blow it.
Well, we always talk about. You hear people say football is cyclical, right? So you think everybody ain't clamoring for an offensive defensive line right now after seeing what they just saw?
But but the thing is, the guy they have picking him is bad at it.
Yeah,
and then anytime he does nail a pick, he goes, "I don't want to pay him. Let him walk."
That will be if I would say my biggest issue with him is this, right? In your moment to get some of that stink off your back, right? You have drafted guys that you can hold up and say, these were great decisions.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing for our team. And you let them walk.
Yeah, and it's not like the Eagles haven't done some of the things the Dolphins have done. Like, they traded for A.J. Brown. They drafted Devontae Smith. They did very similar things. But when they saw weaknesses, they went and they fixed them. They didn't double down on things that were known as holes. And then the other thing is, they can actually draft. The Dolphins drafts suck.
You got to draft
too many swings and misses.
Yeah.
You see that, huh?
That's all they do.
Good strategy.
Eagles draft from Georgia the same way the Patriots were drafting Alabama players. Like, there's a team in college that's winning a lot.
The thing is, what they do is the reason why that would happen is because Bill Belichick could call up Saban and get the real deal.
Yeah, I don't think Kirby Smart and Nick Sirianni are hanging out.
No.
Okay, then. What I'm saying is they do a great, like he said, they do a great job of drafting players. And the other thing they do, they don't sit on their hands. Like, put it this way, Myles Garrett's available right now. I would not be shocked if the Eagles
they'll find a way.
Make a move for him. They never sit on their hands.
Very frustrating.